Hello, my friends. I'm Dr. Sophie Morgan, a board-certified urologist with over 10 years of clinical experience helping men protect not just their bodies, but their confidence, dignity, and relationships. Today, I'm going to share something that might make you uncomfortable at first, but I promise you, this conversation will transform the way you think about intimacy, trust, and connection with your partner. Before we get started, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop in the comments where you're watching from. United States, Kenya, Philippines, Australia, Canada. I love seeing how far this global community reaches. Now, here's something most doctors won't tell you. Intimacy doesn't have an expiration date. Your 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s can be your most passionate, connected years. Yet I see too many men pulling back, assuming their body has betrayed them or that they're too old for real connection. But here's what I've discovered after a decade in urology. Most bedroom problems aren't about age. They're about small, silent habits that quietly sabotage trust and closeness. And here's the shocking part. There's one reaction, one split-second response that destroys more relationships than any physical issue ever could. It happens in less than 3 seconds. And 90% of men do it without even realizing. I'm going to tell you exactly what that reaction is and why it's so devastating. But first, you need to see the 4 habits that set it up. Because habit mistake number 1, the connection killer, only becomes clear once you understand the pattern. I've spent over 10 years helping men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond rebuild confidence in their intimate lives. And when men finally understand how the body actually works, biologically and emotionally, everything changes. They reconnect, they rediscover passion, they feel free again. So let's walk through 5 critical habits. Each one builds on the last, and what I reveal at the end might be the most important thing you hear all year. Habit mistake number 5, believing vaginal fluids are something to avoid. Let's start here, because this belief creates so much unnecessary shame. Vaginal fluids aren't random wetness, they're biological precision. The Bartholin's glands produce silky fluid to eliminate friction. The Skens glands release lubrication during arousal. The cervix adds protective mucus that maintains pH balance. These fluids are mostly water, amino acids, enzymes, minerals, lactic acid. They protect tissue, prevent infection, and make intimacy comfortable and pleasurable. Emotionally, when a man treats these fluids as something dirty or unpleasant, it sends a message of rejection. Practically, it destroys the safety a woman needs to fully open up. Here's the reframe. These fluids aren't something to tolerate. They're evidence that her body trusts you and welcomes connection. If you agree biology makes intimacy better, type 5 in the comments. If you think it doesn't matter, type 0. But here's what most men struggle with next. Habit mistake number 4, panicking over taste and smell variations. This is the question I hear most often behind closed doors. What if the taste or smell is different? Does that mean something's wrong? Here's the reality. Fluids change constantly and naturally. Diet affects it. Pineapple, berries, water, lighter, fresher, garlic, alcohol, strong coffee, more intense. Hormones affect it. Ovulation, more neutral. Menstruation, faint metallic note. Menopause, sometimes less fluid, slightly more acidic. Emotionally, here's what you need to know. Variation is normal, not a problem. No 2 people smell identical after exercise. No 2 women taste the same either. Practically, sudden unpleasant change with itching or burning usually means a simple, treatable imbalance. That's a conversation, not a crisis. The mistake? Treating natural variation like a flaw. Gentlemen, acceptance creates arousal. Judgment kills it. Now, here's what you're probably wondering, but is it actually safe? And this is where we need to get serious. Habit mistake number 3, ignoring health and safety conversations. The direct question, is it safe to swallow vaginal fluids? For healthy, infection-free couples, yes. Fluids are primarily water, enzymes, protective compounds. But here's the critical part most men skip. Fluids can transmit sexually transmitted infections, chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes, syphilis, HIV. Risk increases with active infection. Risk increases even more with cuts, bleeding gums, or mouth sores. Biologically, transmission risk through oral intimacy is lower than penetrative sex, but it's not zero. Emotionally, honesty protects both of you. Practically, the solution is straightforward. Know your status. Test together. Use protection in new relationships. If you think testing builds trust, type 3 in the comments. If you think it ruins the moment, type 4. Be honest. The mistake? Assuming no symptoms means no risk. Real intimacy requires transparency, not assumptions. But even when couples test together and communicate openly, there's still something that quietly erodes connection over time, and it's more common than you think. Habit mistake number 2, choosing silence over honest conversation. I've watched intimacy die not from disease or age, but from unspoken questions, a scent change, a safety concern, a desire to try something new. Left unsaid, these become walls. Let me tell you about Richard, 71 years old, married for 45 years. He and his wife stopped all physical intimacy for 18 months, not because of health issues, because after her menopause, he noticed her natural scent had changed and he said nothing. He became hesitant during intimacy. She noticed his hesitation and interpreted it as loss of attraction. She stopped initiating entirely. He thought she'd lost interest. The silence built a wall neither knew how to break. When they finally sat in my office and talked, both cried. He said, I didn't know how to bring it up without hurting her. She said, I thought I'd become undesirable to you. I thought you didn't want me anymore. One vulnerable conversation dissolved 18 months of pain. Biologically, bodies change after menopause, after illness, after stress. Emotionally, when we hide concerns, our partners fill the silence with their worst fears. Practically, small, fixable issues become relationship-ending distance. The mistake is silence. The answer is compassionate, curious communication. But there's one habit that's even more destructive than all of these, and this is what 90% of men do in that critical 3-second window. This is the intimacy killer. Habit mistake number 1, reacting with visible disgust instead of calm acceptance. This is the most damaging response you can give. Here's the scenario. You're intimate. Everything's progressing well. Then something unexpected happens. A different taste, an unfamiliar scent, and without thinking, you react. Your face shows it. You pull away slightly. You pause. Maybe you reach for water or make a small sound. 3 seconds. That's all it takes. Your partner sees your face. She reads your body language. And instantly, shame floods her entire nervous system. Arousal disappears. Trust fractures. And for some women, they never feel fully safe with you again. I've counseled couples where one moment of visible disgust created years of sexual avoidance. She stops initiating. She makes excuses. She loses desire, not because her body changed, because she felt rejected at her most vulnerable point. Here's what you need to understand. Her body is functioning exactly as designed. Variations aren't defects. When she feels completely accepted, arousal deepens and trust expands. If something unexpected happens, respond with kindness, not reaction. Suggest showering together. Encourage hydration. Approach it as partners, never as critic and criticize. Because this changes everything. Acceptance is the most powerful aphrodisiac. Disgust is the fastest intimacy killer. When you embrace your partner fully, fluids included, you communicate something profound. I accept every part of you. I trust you completely. You are safe with me. So here's what to do right now. Talk about health openly. Test together twice a year. Frame it as partnership and care, not suspicion. Notice changes without judgment. If something's different, approach it as a team. Shower together. Support her in checking with her doctor. Practice radical acceptance. Her fluids aren't flaws. They're signs of health, arousal, and trust in you. You're not alone in these questions. Every man asks them. Every couple navigates them. And when you talk with honesty and kindness, intimacy doesn't just survive. it thrives. Remember this, safety doesn't destroy romance. It creates the foundation for lasting passion. Your 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s can be your most intimate years if you release shame, embrace acceptance, and prioritize honest communication. If this resonated with you, like this video so other men can find it. Subscribe for weekly men's health advice, and tell me in the comments, where are you from and which habit surprised you most? Drop the number. I'm Dr. Sophie Morgan. Small shifts in understanding create massive changes in connection. Passion has no age limit, and neither should you.